The same 116, 112, the winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank Jr.
That's my son. That's right. That's why I'm here. I was always going to be here. That's right.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Mr. Eubank. A pleasure to speak to you. We're going to make our way over the ring.
Nigel Benn, Nigel, obviously commiserations with the results. First of all, how proud of you that your boy, you looked out there and you saw 65,000 fans screaming. You've been there, but how proud is it that your boy got to do that?
Yeah, I'm to have his first fight in about 14 months, and now he'll be back on track. And sometimes when you don't have a defeat, you just think you're invincible. So what he'll do now, he'll go back and work on where he went wrong. So I'm happy about that.
I looked at Chris Senior and I said to him, grabbed him by the neck and I said, mate, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you turned up. You know, because outside of everything else, outside of all the noise and the promotion and the fight, your relationship with your dad never goes. That's always there. That's long standing. That's without boxing. You know, what's boxing? You know, what is it? You know, because I'd pick the relationship with my dad over boxing any day of the week. You know, so to see them two, if this has brought them together, God, that's worth its weight in gold.
Everything surprised me. I didn't know he had what he had in him. I really didn't. I thought I would break him early. I underestimated him. You know, I didn't train for a fight like that. You know, I didn't know he had that in him. He's never shown that. But then again, he's never had to show it. He had to show it tonight. And so did I.
Let's go to it. Declan Rice, great to see. Obviously, you're a Spurs fan, you're an Arsenal man. So am I, by the way. How do you see it tonight?
I want Conor Benn to win. I like Eubank, but I know Tony Sims, I know Conor, so I'm here supporting them tonight.
Emotional, that?
Yeah, I'm just so proud of him, honestly. It's probably the first time that I can't be bothered to give my opinion on the scorecards because I'm just blown away by what Conor Benn did tonight. Respect to Eubank, I mean he was incredibly tough as well, but I just can't believe the heart and guts. I've never seen a fighter dig in that situation with the size of that challenge, literally, and just never stop trying to win. Like even in the 11th and 12th round when he had nothing else. Let's just walk around here a little bit because we're going to...
Chisora, with the one and only, the marvellous, the beautiful Derek Chisora. What a night we witnessed. You've had these nights. What an incredible fight, Derek.
Conor, Chris delivered. You know, I say this before. I was like, whoever loses this fight is going to tarnish the dad's name. Nah. He can walk out there. Conor can walk out there head up high. You know, go home to his family safe and sound. The way he boxed and the way Chris boxed was unbelievable. You know, we were just like, we enjoyed the fight.
Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn is done, and the boxing world has plenty to say. Here's how the pros are reacting to the chaos that followed. Post-fight reactions. Before the fight, plenty of fighters shared their predictions. Here's what they said before Eubank Jr. and Benn stepped into the ring.
What we've just seen here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Conor Benn doesn't get the victory here. Thoughts?
No, good fight. You don't want nothing more as a boxing fan. That was fantastic. Enjoyed every second of it. Good fight.
What did you think of Eubank's performance? Do you think he won the fight?
Yeah, I think he won the fight. It's a good fight. Really close. Everything was.
This is the show. This is what we do. And the idea is always to come dressed and ready to roll.
Harlem Eubank, you've just seen your cousin beat Conor Benn in front of 67,000 people here at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. First thoughts, first reactions to that night, that fight?
Unbelievable atmosphere, incredible fight. You know, the fight really ignited, and you know they both played their part in that. You know, they both battled hard. Neither gave up, neither wanted to give in. The will they both showed was
incredible. And yeah, you know, Junior at 36 years old, he had to show his resolve there. He had to dig deep into the well and pull it out in the championship rounds. And I was impressed for him to be able to do that at 36 years old. It's impressive.
David Adelaide, David, what do you think of the fight?
Good fight. I think the fans are in for a treat. They both spoke it. I mean, before the fight, and they lived up to it. Yeah, I had Eubank winning. I know you're going to ask me, who did you think? I think Eubank won it. So, yeah.
And Shalom, then congratulations, 3 wins for a boxer, and the main event. Just talk me through it, the emotions.
Listen, it started off so well. Chris Smith in a great fight. Great fight. Great to see him back. Always entertaining, Chris Smith. Delighted for him, back in the big time. Vidal Riley was superb, absolutely phenomenal.
Former world champion 7, who shared the ring with Chris Eubank Jr. back in 2018, gave a calculated breakdown before the fight without fully revealing his pick. But his analysis clearly leaned toward Eubank. Groves emphasized size, experience, and pedigree as key advantages for Eubank Jr., pointing out the uphill climb Benn would face, stepping up in weight and opposition. Roy Jones Jr. may no longer be in Eubank Jr.'s corner, but he still backed his former fighter ahead of the Benn clash. Respecting Benn's early power, Roy warned Eubank not to get reckless, yet stood firm that his size and experience would take over if Chris stays smart. For Roy, this fight was all about patience versus pressure, and Eubank had the tools to win if he used them right. Before the fight, professional boxer Joel Iriarte gave his thoughts on the matchup, highlighting the personal rivalry, the legendary family feud, and the weight jump for Conor Benn. Having sparred with Benn himself, Joel leaned toward him, but acknowledged how dangerous Eubank Jr. still was. It was a respectful, balanced prediction, but Joel's tone suggested he was quietly rooting for Benn to pull off the upset. Before the fight, Eddie Hearn was clear about his predictions for the showdown between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. Having witnessed Benn's growth throughout his career, Hearn noted a different version of Benn leading up to this fight. He called it a version with no distractions, no noise, just total focus. Benn had been working tirelessly behind the scenes, sparring with top-level light heavyweights, and according to Hearn, he'd never looked sharper. With the fight now in the books, it's clear whether Hearn's prediction came true. As Benn takes the win, Hearn's words ring louder than ever. His belief in Benn's focus and preparation was spot on. Now it's up to the boxing world to see how this fight shifts Benn's career and what comes next for him. Before the fight, the promoter of Chris Eubank Jr. had no doubt about the outcome. His prediction was simple, confident, and unapologetically blunt. With little buildup or debate, Shalom saw this as a one-sided affair, and he wasn't shy about it. As the fight unfolded, Shalom's bold prediction became a topic of conversation. For Matt Macklin, it wasn't just about experience, it was about levels. Eubank Jr. had shared the ring with fighters like George Groves and Arthur Abraham, men with elite power and pedigree at super middleweight. While Macklin acknowledged that Eubank might not be as sharp as he once was, he still believed Benn's current resume didn't measure up to Eubank's caliber in any serious way. Carl Frosch echoed this sentiment, highlighting Eubank's victories over top-tier names like Arthur Abraham and James DeGale, plus his razor-close loss to Billy Joe Saunders. Even the defeat to Liam Smith, Frosch pointed out, was avenged dominantly. According to Frosch, Eubank's career was more than just experience. It was proof that he had been tested at the highest level and had passed numerous tough tests along the way. While many were caught up in the debate over who's got the stronger mindset, Spencer Oliver cut straight to the point with a technical warning, one that could spell disaster for Conor Benn if he got reckless. Oliver emphasized that Eubank Jr.'s power wasn't just hype, it was a tactical weapon, particularly dangerous when Benn decided to bring the fight directly to him. Johnny Nelson didn't hold back when discussing his hesitation to back Conor Benn. While recognizing Benn's growth, Nelson pointed to one key concern, Benn's 15-month layoff. With all the turbulence in Benn's career, Nelson feels that absence could be a costly factor in such a big fight. Nelson also weighed in on the promotion, particularly Eubank Jr.'s antics like the egg incident. While some saw it as over the top, Nelson gave Eubank credit for knowing how to market the fight. However, he also noted there's a fine line between selling a show and crossing personal boundaries. Before the fight, Fabio Wardley didn't hesitate when sharing his thoughts on the Benn versus Eubank matchup. He respected both fighters, especially Conor Benn's grit and explosiveness. but he made a bold prediction. This fight could come down to something you can't train for, natural size and weight. Wardley drew a striking comparison to the Canelo versus Bivol fight, where size played a key role. For more fight breakdowns, reactions, and updates, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because the pulse of boxing never stops.